Okay, sorry, it's kind of hard to work the laptop when you're looking at it from an angle. But we are at 7:59, so I'll get started here soon. So, hi Tina, welcome. Heidi and Loretta, if you want to come on camera, that makes it more fun for me. But I know some people might be eating dinner and stuff. And yay, Heidi. Um, I checked in with everybody today to make sure everybody was gonna be on. I only heard back from Heidi. So hopefully the others hop on. If not, I can send the recording. Hi, Loretta. Um, Everything I'm gonna go over tonight, I'm gonna email you. So don't feel like you have to remember everything that I say, so. Hi, Deanna. Hi, Belinda. Looks like they're connecting to the audio. This will be a pretty short class, like 20 minutes or so. All right. Hi, Belinda. Thanks for coming on camera. Deanna, if you can come on camera, that makes it more fun for me. Yay. I was just sharing with them that I'm going to email you everything that I go over. So don't feel like you have to remember everything that I'm going to say. I am sick. And so if I go off camera, it's probably to like blow my nose or something. So I'll be right back. But hopefully I'll be okay since it's just it's a shorter class. All right, so the computer is far away. So if you post a question in the chat, I will not be able to read it. So just come off mute and just say your question out loud. And if you are watching through the live stream through my recipe group, I can't see those comments. So I'll have to get to those comments later. So if you have questions, comments, and you're watching live here on the Zoom, just come off mute and ask your question. But power cooking is really, really nice because it allows you to make quick, healthy meals during those busy weeknights. And it's kind of half power cooking, kind of half freezer meals. I'm going to kind of show you both components, and you can totally just do the power cooking component, or you can take it the step further and do the freezer meals. And I'm going to send you the resources for everything. But the power or the benefit of power cooking comes from you're cooking all your meat up ahead of time. So behind me on the stove in the nonstick stainless wok, I've got 2 pounds of ground beef cooking with 1 onion and 1 garlic. So I'm going to add another garlic. And by the way, if you're not using fresh garlic, it is definitely the best way to add flavor to your food. So I'm just pressing the garlic in there with the garlic press. And then I'm going to add 1 more onion. So basically, you're doing equal amounts of ground beef, onion, and garlic. So if you want to do a bunch at a time and you want to do 5 pounds of ground beef and you've got a big wok or a big, multi-purpose pot that can handle 5 pounds of ground beef, you're going to do 5 onions and you're going to do 5 garlic cloves. You only do 3 pounds of ground beef, you're going to do 3 onions, 3 things. So I'm just chopping that onion up real quickly. Now, if you've got somebody in your family with sinus issues and just the smell of onion cooking bothers them, or they just don't like chunks of onion, an option that sometimes I'll do just on months my husband's a little bit more sensitive to the onion smell is I'll do 3 onion rub. So instead of 1 onion, you could do 1 tablespoon of the 3 onion rub. All right, so I'm just putting that in there. And I'm sure all of you have the mix and chop. If you don't, grab one. But that makes the meat, the ground beef, so fine and small, so you're not getting any chunks of meat. All right, so I'm just gonna let that finish cooking. I gave it a head start because we don't need to sit here for 10 minutes and watch the ground beef cook. So then I'm gonna drain it in the stainless mesh colander. And oh, I lost my train of thought. So this is just 2 pounds of ground beef because I'm gonna do 3 recipes, but I'm doing 1 chicken. So 1 chicken, 2 pounds ground beef. I usually do 3 pounds of ground beef at a time. But once it's done cooking in like 30 seconds, I'm going to drain it. And you don't want to put those drippings down the drain. That's just something that like I learned from my childhood. My mom would have these bowls of gross looking drippings. And then once they solidify, she would throw them away. And so that's just what I've always done. And I'm realizing through teaching this class that a lot of people don't realize that you can't put those drippings down the drain. And what's going to happen is as it solidifies in your drain, it's going to ruin your garbage disposal. So I will just let the drippings sit out until they solidify. Sometimes it's not till the next morning, and I'll just throw them away. I had one customer tell me that she like freezes them in the ice cube trays and then throws them away. Whatever, you just want to make sure you throw them away and not put them down the drain. Some people put them in cans, like empty cans, and then throw it away that way. It doesn't really matter. Okay. So if you think about taco night is a pretty simple recipe, but the majority of your time in the kitchen is spent browning your ground beef. Once that's done, you add your water, your taco seasoning, let it simmer, whatever, grate your cheese, all of that. So if you already have the ground beef cooked and ready to go, your prep time is pretty much cut in half or even more. All right, so I'm gonna put this over here. All right, my sister's texting me, but she's gonna have to wait. Okay, so then I am just putting the ground beef in here to let it drain. And again, this is 2 pounds. We're gonna divide this out into 1 pound batches. So if you cook up 3 pounds of ground beef, you're going to get 3 meals out of it. Because most recipes, chili, lasagna, tacos, all that kind of stuff, it calls for 1 pound of ground beef. Now, if your family is really big and you have to double things, then you're used to doing that anyways. Okay, so you can probably, hopefully see those drippings down there. I love these stainless steel colanders because they're stainless, so I can throw it in the dishwasher. All right, so I'm just gonna kind of move this around and hurry it up a little bit. All right, so I'm gonna let that cool. You can probably see some of that steam. Now in my 10-inch, actually, I think this is the 12-inch stainless nonstick, I have 2 pounds of chicken that I have just diced ahead of time. And the chicken is easy to do. You don't have to add anything to it. Just do a little bit of oil in the pan and then dice your chicken up ahead of time, throw it in here and just move it around until it's cooked. Now, if you're really friendly with your, like the butcher and the meat counter at your grocery store, sometimes they will dice the chicken for you, which saves you even more time at home. I always get my chicken from the meat counter because it's cheaper. If you compare per pound, it's usually $1 cheaper per pound from the butcher counter. And if you get it pre-packaged, like in the refrigerated cases, you're actually also paying for the weight of the styrofoam and any plastic and any like dripping little containers they have in there. So, I mean, it's not much, but if you're buying, you know, a lot of meat, it eventually adds up. So you do the same thing You divide it out into 1 pound bags. So 1 pound of ground beef, it's ready to go for taco, chilies, lasagna, sloppy joes, beef stroganoff. I don't know, come out loud, come off of mute if you think of something else. And then you've got your brown chicken, your cooked chicken that's ready to go for like tortilla soup or chicken salad. So I love, where did it go? I love our tortilla soup mixture, and I always add a pound of cooked chicken to it. So you can do rotisserie, but if I've got a package of pre-cooked chicken already to go in the freezer, that's even easier, and that's actually even cheaper. Okay, so let me move this out of the way. So, got the ground beef. Now, you can, so this is 2 pounds, like I mentioned. You can just eyeball it because it was 2 pounds, but then we have all those drippings come off. So you can just eyeball it as you divide it out between however many bags you have. You can weigh it if you want with a digital scale. I usually just eyeball it, and I just do, it's nothing fancy. I just do a spoonful and then a spoonful, and I just keep going back and forth. Now, this meat will stay fresh for up to 3 months in the freezer. You just want to make sure that you use good quality freezer bags. So this is not the time to get the Aldi or the Kroger brand. You want to get the Glad, the Hefty, the Ziploc. So again, if you had cooked up 5 pounds of ground beef, you would line up your 5 bags and just divide it out equally. I get asked all the time, where did you get those bag holders? These are literally called bag holders, and I just got them from Amazon. So you can raise them all the way up for your gallon bags, or you can push them down for quart size bags, and then they fold flat, so they're easy to store. I think they come in like a set of 5 for $7 or something. So those are really handy. And I looked for those because I was doing a class, a freezer meal class, and all the participants, Heidi and Deanna, you've done freezer meals workshops with me before. All the participants had to divide out their meat ahead of time and bring it. And one of the moms said, you need bag holders that don't talk back to you. And basically the night before, she had her kids hold open the bags while she put the meat in there. So I was like, oh, I bet there's something out there. So these are super, super helpful. If you don't have bag holders, you don't have kids that don't talk back to you, flip the very top of it kind of inside out, and you can kind of make it stand up on its own like that. And then the seal is kept clean because it's been folded. Okay, so this would be your straight power cooking. Pound of ground beef, ready to go for chili, for lasagna, whatever. When you freeze it, let me move this so you can see it better. When you freeze it, you just want to freeze it flat, so get all the air out of it, and then you want to double bag it, just in case. And I usually write on the interior bag 1 pound ground beef. I mean, if you do this long enough, you're going to know by looking at it that it's 1 pound of ground beef. And then boom, you're ready to go. So you want to freeze it flat because it takes up less space in your freezer. And on cooking day or thawing day, it's going to thaw super fast because it's flat. So if you forget to take it out of the freezer the night before, you can grab it the morning of, throw it in the fridge. You can grab it a couple hours before and throw it on your range or on a cookie sheet, so air is getting around both sides, and it's going to thaw pretty quickly. So I'm going to open this up again just because it's not completely cool. So you want to make sure your meat's relatively cool before you package it up. Okay, so that is your basic power cooking for ground beef. Any questions about just the basic ground beef power cooking? Okay, I lost somebody. That's not ever a good sign. Okay, so the next step, if you want to take your power cooking to the next step and make it a freezer meal, which I'm going to send you recipes for, you put everything in with your ground beef that you need. So one of the recipes I'm going to send you is called saucy beef chili. So I've got my pound of ground beef and the onion, and then I'm just going to add everything else that the recipe calls for right in this bag. So I've turned the power cooking ground beef into a freezer meal. If you like to take freezer meals to friends, one thing I love about these Pampered Chef power cooking meals is that they're not casseroles. And so a lot of people like them a lot better than your traditional freezer meals. All right, so that was diced tomatoes. It was chili beans. This is tomato paste. Get all that goodness out. And then your favorite chili seasoning, which mine is Pampered Chef's chili mix. Love it. It actually sold out over Christmas, and it's back in stock now. It is super popular. Just dump the whole thing in there. All right, and then you're gonna knead it. So basically just mix all those ingredients together. This is another reason why you want a good quality freezer bag. All right. And I just realized I forgot one ingredient, the water. Just mixing that all up. A nice benefit of these power cooking freezer meals is because the meat and everything has been sitting in those seasonings, it's going to be more flavorful. Okay. Now, if you were doubling this recipe because your family is big, what I would do is not add the water and just write a note on this interior bag, add 3 cups water. And then double bag it. And this is cool enough because of all the extra ingredients I added. Double bag it. Flatten. And then what I like to do, the recipes that I'm going to send you, I print off the like the cooking day component of the recipe, and I stick it in between the 2 bags so that you don't have to look on your phone or look off for what you printed off, 2 months earlier. It's all here ready to go. So this is saucy beef chili. This is actually what we're having tomorrow night for dinner. So since I'm having it within like 2 days, I'm not going to freeze it. I'm just going to put it in the fridge. But most people will put it in the fridge. Okay, so that is beef. The other package, I am just gonna leave it as it is, the power cooking beef, because I am going to use it Thursday until I planned out my menu plan based on this class. I'm gonna use it Thursday for sweet potato taco packets. If you're in my recipe group, that recipe is on this week's menu plan, or maybe it was last week. I don't know. Our menu is kind of off because of sickness. So this is ready to go. So all I have to do on cooking day is to add the rest of the ingredients and let it simmer, and we're good. So the chicken. It's not too hot anymore. So the chicken is 2 pounds of chicken. You can do 3 pounds, it doesn't matter. I am using this for chicken enchiladas, and that recipe actually calls for 2 pounds of make-ahead chicken. So this power cooking concept uses make-ahead beef, make-ahead chicken in 1 pound portions, and so this recipe calls for 2 pounds make-ahead chicken. So I'm just going to put it all in this stainless steel bowl. My dog is right there, hoping something drops. Okay, now, like I mentioned, this is great for your like tortilla soup or for tetrazzinis, casseroles. Trying to think what else. Chicken tacos, we love chicken tacos, salad soups. I'm using it for chicken enchiladas and I know I want it shredded. So I'm just gonna shred it now while it's warm using the salad choppers because it's a lot easier to shred it when it's warm. And my husband and son are gonna have chicken enchiladas next week when I am at a cooking show one evening. I might see Heidi there, I don't know. Okay. And I am just gonna load it up here, and then before I leave for my cooking party, all I have to do, get a different spoon, is add the rest of the ingredients for the enchiladas, which is like salsa and cream cheese and Monterey Jack cheese. Wrap them up, pop them in the oven, and then my husband can take them out. And so cooking the chicken up ahead of time cuts the prep time of that recipe in half. So I am gonna freeze this since I don't need it right away. And again, 3 months if you use good quality freezer bags. And what I would write on the inner bag is 2 pounds chicken. The reason I write it on the inner bag is because that's already dirty. The outer bag, assuming nothing spills or leaks, is clean, and you can just reuse that again later. All right, boom, so that's done. So I am gonna send you the recipe for the make ahead ground beef, super simple, equal amounts of ground beef, onion, garlic, cook it up, divide it out. And then a variety of recipes that you can cook right away with the make ahead ground beef, or you can do the whole thing and put it together in a freezer meal. And then the exact same thing with chicken. It also includes some freezing tips. So like I mentioned, freezing it flat. It's best to keep food like this, like in the main freezer and not on the door of the freezer if you have one of those cabinet kind of freezers. And then I'm also going to email you a discount shopping link. So if you find that there's something that you need because you registered for this class and attended this class, I'm going to give you a 25% off shopping link. Some great products are retiring this month, like the scoop and spread. I literally have 4 of them. One's in the dishwasher, love them, kind of sad to see this guy go. And a variety of other products that they are retiring just because they have to make room for the new. So I'll email you all the recipes and that discount shopping link. Any questions? You guys were a quiet bunch. Any questions or anything that needs clarified? Do you feel like this is something that you could do? If you're nodding your head or shaking your head, I can't really see it because you're like this big.
Yes, definitely.
Yay, thank you, Tina. Awesome. And this is actually a concept that my sister has always done with ground beef just for spaghetti and tacos. Just so she's always got a pound of cooked ground beef in the freezer just to whip it out because then dinner comes together in like 10 minutes. So, all right. Well, if you don't have any other questions, I'll let y'all go. I promised 20-30 minutes and we're there, and I will get all this cleaned up and I will email you the recipes. All right. And you can always just email me back if you think of a question later on. All right.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank
see
you,
ya.
Helen. Thank you.
Yep.